everybody. My name is Jacob.
And I'm Carlos.
And this is the Coinflip. Now, guys, today's episode is pretty much going to be structured the same. If you were staying tuned, the last episode, it's going to be the same thing, but we are kind of branch out into something else that me and Carlos talk about a lot is inflation. We're going to talk about how inflation is affecting the market, how it's affecting our economy. And before we get started on this episode, please, guys, I want you to like, comment, and subscribe, whatever platform you're on. Your support means a lot. And
we are not financial advisors. Let's remind you of that. We're just some dudes that pay attention to what's going on in the world. We giving out free game. That's how I look at it. So you want to tell them where we see him, Jacob?
Yeah, we'll catch him on the flip, Carlos.
All right, so we're gonna start this episode with the 7-day Bitcoin chart, as always. So as you see, we earlier in the week we were at about 60,000, a little bit over 60,000. We haven't been able to claim 61 or 62. We're in a bit of a downtrend, a bit of a descending channel, you could say. What caused this is really just a mere correction. There's a little bit of bad news in the market, but as long as we hold on to 53,000, we should be good. And I think that we should resume upwards continuation. I think this might be the last little dip before we really take off.
I agree.
Personally, I'm buying more. I think,
man, it's on the fire sale, man.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know what? It looks pretty steep. It went from 68,000 to 56,000. That looks steep. But where was it at the beginning of October? At the beginning of October, it was at 40,000. So, we are we're moving up. So I'm not giving up on it yet. If you zoom out to the 3-month chart, it looks very healthy. It just looks like we're coming down, accumulating right now. Another thing to watch for, I've been posting on our Instagram at the Coinflip Pod. I've been posting articles and things like that. There's a lot of whales accumulating. I think the number 3 wallet, Jacob, they added like 202 Bitcoin when price dropped to like 62,000. So when they're doing when they're doing things like that, you kind of want to like what you want to wonder, what do they know that we don't? Right. All right. So we're going to take that and we're going to go into the coin of the week. This week's coin of the week is Crow. The cash sign is Crow and it stands for crypto.com coin. So it's a pretty cool coin. I've been doing some research on it as I present it to you guys. And it's an exchange, and it's an exchange we told you about. But not only is it an exchange, but they're working on being a payment solutions. Like, Jacob, they have that debit card, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah, crypto.com.
So that debit card is like them. That's their way of being like a payment solution. So they're a little bit different from regular exchanges like that. I know you can stake on their exchanges. We gotta have an episode talking about staking one of these days. But what happened, the big news that shifted this coin was the Lakers, the Los Angeles Lakers, one of the biggest, actually probably the most valuable NBA team. They decided that on December 25th, they didn't decide, but they were offered $750 million. I want to say it was $750 million for the naming rights of Staples Center, which is one of the most iconic centers in basketball. And they're going to name it Crypto.com Arena. So this has sent Crypto.com from 39 cents to a high of 91 cents. It'll probably be hitting $1 soon. And honestly, Jacob, I would say if like that's the start of their marketing campaign, I think they got more surprises in store for the people. What do you think?
Yeah, man, of course. I mean, like this wasn't even a US exchange coin. Like, so this wasn't even crypto.com is a currency exchange or a cryptocurrency exchange.
Yes.
And this wasn't actually available to the US. Like it wasn't like I think they just hit the US market this year. So I I mean, there's a ton of opportunities there. A lot of people are getting into it. The crypto cards, I'm seeing a ton of people getting into it, and I just think there's a lot of room to grow on in this market for sure.
As far as popularity, if you that's how exchanges make their money. That's how they make their market cap grow. As far as popularity, I think they're doing things the right way, and it's actually helping adoption because people are going to see crypto.com and they're going to be like, what is crypto, or how can I get into it? So it's helping adoption in a way. So I like this coin. Probably won't buy any because it's up so much right now, but I do like this coin. I do like crypto.com as well as an exchange. So all right, let's transition into the main topic of this episode. We're going to be talking about inflation. Transition into the main topic of this episode. We're going to be talking about inflation. So let's start this off by talking about what inflation is. Inflation, by definition, is a general increase in prices and fall in the purchasing value of money. So if you think about this, money has depreciated over time. For example, if you're around me and Jacob's age, your parents would probably say $1,000 back in their day was worth more than $1,000 is today. And so some of the factors driving up inflation right now actually is used car sales. They surged in prices, and this is not necessarily good for the economy because it has driven up prices while the dollar has depreciated. So that's one factor that's driving up inflation. Another factor is the supply chain is really jacked up right now. So uh right now there's like boats in San Francisco that are like docked like miles away from like the loading zone, and they're docked that far because they can't even load because everything's just backed up. There's a lot of items missed, like item shortages, and that is causing some inflation. So do you want to tell them about the other two topics, Jacob?
Yeah, I mean, another issue, and even some business owners might even relate to this, is labor issues. It's almost impossible to find anybody to work nowadays. Uh, I've even experienced this myself, where I went into a hospital and they had a whole floor empty, Carlos. Like
Full floor.
a whole floor empty. Not and they had a bunch of patients lined up to get put into rooms, but they just had nobody to work that entire floor.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just, and this even goes for small businesses too. I know a lot of small businesses during this time have gone out of business because they can't find anybody to work for, or they just can't afford to hire them. Because I know, McDonald's, where I work at, for example, hires for about what, 14, 15 an hour.
Yeah, I've
And
seen that actually.
yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. That's crazy to me. Uh, Another issue we're having with inflation is government funding. And everybody knows about the stimulus checks that are coming in, unemployment benefits. They are trying to stimulate the economy because not a lot of people are going out of their house because of COVID. And they're trying to stimulate the economy by, throwing money their way, having trying to, get people back up on their feet, and they're getting paid more than they can work for.
Yep.
So why would you even go back to work?
I wouldn't.
Yeah,
So
that's how it was earlier in
I
the
believe
COVID
that they
crisis.
stopped like the unemployment benefits.
They
So,
did, they
but I
did.
know a lot of businesses went out of business, especially in Michigan, because they just couldn't even get people to work.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
we're gonna tie this into crypto, and I want to start this off, Jacob, by asking, what is the relationship between the stock market and the crypto market?
There's almost nothing,
Right.
nothing at all.
So if you're building a portfolio, listeners, you want to have cash reserves. You probably want to have some mutual funds, index funds, and that's what you call a diversified portfolio. And now cryptocurrency has kind of become its own asset class, and it is a completely diversified. It is completely diversified asset because it doesn't relate to any of those three things I just mentioned. So the people with big pockets have actually been hedging their some of their a percentage of their net worth into cryptocurrency, and that is a way of diversifying themselves. So if something happens to the stock market, if something happens to the US dollar, they will cryptocurrency is they're basically betting on cryptocurrency to go up. And like I mentioned earlier, if the big people know something that you don't, what do they know that you don't? I forget. I feel
Right.
like we forgot to mention this, Jacob. But inflation is up 6.2% year to date. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely not normal. But like I was saying, how the government's trying to stimulate the economy, right, by putting more money into circulation, but it seems like it's backfiring because not only are they just buying and holding assets, they're not even not just crypto, they're buying a lot of property too, Carlos. There's a lot of different
Oh yeah, there
a lot
are
of different
really.
assets there a lot of different assets people are holding, and they're just not putting it to they're not stimulating the economy, they're just holding assets
The housing
with all the
market
money that they're getting.
in the housing market, they're like outbidding people, like straight up. Like you could post a house for like $400,000 and somebody pay 460 for it. It's like
I'm easy, honestly.
it's becoming
Easy.
scarce almost. And you know how he got here, Jacob? Really, the biggest problem, and I feel like it's not their fault, but it you know this is what got us here was uh nobody knew how long the pandemic would last from the start. They said a month, 2 months, the summer, the fall. And you know, we're still kind of going through it right now. So nobody knew. And that's kind of what like put us in this situation.
I mean, I don't know about how it was in Florida, but here in Michigan, I think we went through two different lockdowns.
Oh no, we had one lockdown and then like it was pretty much open. Like we opened up like last May or yeah, we opened up in or not last May. We opened up in May and we pretty much haven't looked back since.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, I think Florida was actually one of the first
Yep.
states to actually go like
Yep.
kind of just say screw it,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yep. Hey, but I mean, we're not here to talk about what the cases and everything were. Let's talk about some of the real life prices that's going on. You want to tell the people what to watch, you know, the CPI?
Oh yeah, the consumer price index. I mean, there's just so the consumer price index is pretty much you can just imagine like a grocery basket, right? And this is how you judge inflation. You just kind of toss a bunch of stuff in the basket like milk, cereal, whatever it is. Like you just toss a bunch of different groceries, just common items that you would use for the house, toilet paper, and then you would judge how much all those things cost together. And if they are obviously more than it was last year, then there's been inflation. But more so this year, there's just a lot of things have just been raising in prices
Yep.
by a significant amount actually. There's there's like I even know like my uncle, he owns a gas station, and I think pop just itself went up about 50 cents, like just a bottle per bottle.
Well, actually,
Like,
gas prices went up while you're talking
oh
about the
yeah, a
gas
ton.
station.
Yeah, oh yeah,
So
gas prices went
and
up.
gas and oil, it's such a big commodity that it kind of like runs everything. Like if gas prices are going up, everything is kind of going up.
Right.
So the
And
price of milk,
yeah,
it used to be $1.99. You know how much it is now?
it's
$2.79. Now that doesn't seem like much, but it's creeping up slowly.
I mean, think of now that. I mean, to me, that's almost double. I mean, that's not almost double, but it's about almost a 50% increase there.
And okay, Jacob, you want to know the most depressing thing about with the price increase? The most depressing thing. I sent this to you earlier. So Dollar Tree hikes prices 25%. Most items will cost $1.25. Do y'all hear
No.
that? Dollar Tree, the dollar store. They've been the dollar forever. They are raising their prices
Wow.
25%. Like $1.25. That don't sound like much. But when you think about it, if everything goes up 25 cents in the store, you're spending 25 cents more than you would have generally. Like that's how bad things are getting right now. Like
Guys,
we're not even gonna have a dollar store anymore, Jacob.
that's tragic. That's actually very tragic. It's $1.25 tree now, man.
This almost actually I think this is a good measure of how much like they, because you know what, they probably measured out how much they need, because what, you know, a dollar, they were probably over break even, you know, they were in profit at dollar. So in order for them to be in profit, they need to sell things for $1.25 rather than a dollar. So that means that their profit margin shrunk over this year.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I honestly personally think it's been shrinking.
Hmm.
They're just trying to keep that brand name, right? The Dollar
Right.
Tree.
They can't afford it anymore.
Uh,
That means that
yeah, they just simply, they simply,
that means they were probably
yeah, they
breaking
simply
even,
can't.
or they were in loss probably.
Yeah, so they simply just can't afford it anymore, and now that means like their wholesalers are driving up the prices, and retail is just becoming a mess for a lot of people. I mean, but
Right. And I feel like it's a little funny, Jacob, because when the pandemic first started, we used to talk about when they first started printing the stimulus checks, we used to talk about inflation a lot, and like that was like our main thing that we spoke about for like a really long time, because it was like every day people were just basically like making money like for doing nothing. And that's a little bit why I know we both feel the same about this. We don't really trust the government right now. And we're gonna go into a little bit of conspiracy talk here. But you know, the government, we feel like they just haven't handled this right. But how do you handle this correctly? You know?
yeah, it seems kind of tough to do so, especially with a lot of things threatening your government and your banks in general. Uh, it's just they don't seem like they have like a plan going. It seems like they're dodging the topic of inflation. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
Uh, you were telling me the other day they were not they're not posting
The M1 supply.
the yeah, the M1 supply,
Okay,
and they
so
haven't done that since.
the M1 supply, guys, that is like how much money is in circulation in the world, or not in the world, but in the US at the time. And they usually print this every week for the public to see. I want to say in about March or April, around there, they stopped printing it for the public to see. They haven't done that since 2007, right before the great, what we call the Great Recession in history. So things are probably pretty bad, but we can't even see what they are because they're not letting us see it. So it's like, why are they doing that? You know, like what could it really be that bad? And I want to say yes. I don't have the exact numbers put up, but I want to say, because we don't have the M1 supply, but I've heard that like 48% of the money in supply has been printed since the pandemic. So over half of the money in supply right now came from like the pandemic, basically, Jacob, like the past 2 years.
Yeah, that's ridiculous to me. I mean, honestly, to see that inflation's only gone up 6.2% I honestly thought it would be a little more. I mean, if you want to be honest with
Oh,
you.
they haven't published November yet. That's why.
Yeah, there you go.
So
But no, but this is not just this is also affecting the fact that they're trying to push out laws about cryptocurrency because they seem kind of they seem kind of scared about it because they know they can't really do much about it.
mhm.
I think they just recently passed a law saying that miners are considered brokers now.
Yes. Oh, yes. That's actually what crashed the market. Forgot that in the 7 day talk chart talk. So it's an infrastructure bill. This big infrastructure bill is supposed to give like a bunch of states money. It's supposed to do a bunch of federal funding and things like that. Um, they are now calling like miners. They're trying to make them list as brokers, which kind of kills the innovation in the market. But you know what happened literally the same day, Jacob? The senators that are in office, they put a bill, or they're trying to put a bill in place to like get that part appealed, because they were trying to get it appealed, but everyone in the House and everyone in the Senate, they didn't really pay attention to, because the bill wasn't for cryptocurrency. It was an infrastructure bill. So, but they didn't want to put any amendments to it just because they wanted to get it through. I believe that's how that went. So
You were saying something about how it restricts innovation, like
yes,
100%, right?
yes,
Like it really kind of it creates a lot of uncertainty into crypto investors, and it really makes it so they don't want to push this technology. And
right.
honestly, if they don't, the US is going to be left in the dust.
Yes. Now, well, Jacob, you seen, I know you've seen all the posts saying that the US is actually working on building their own central bank digital currency. If they don't want to push
Yeah.
this type of innovation, why are they building their own central bank digital currency?
Yeah. Well,
It,
I
it seems like they
mean,
hating on us, man, for real.
yeah, it's just I guess they're just trying to figure out a way to, I mean, even if they did do that, think about it, Carlos. Even if they did do that, would it really be the blockchain? Would it really be crypto? Because
No.
it's the government. They want to keep track of everything that they want, like
Yes,
everybody's
exactly.
doing. And that kind of just undermines the whole entire decentralization aspect of cryptocurrency.
No, I think they're just doing it because it rings like it's relevant. So it's like their way of kind of staying relevant. So they'll be like, "Oh, we have a digital banking currency, guys. You should use it." But it's like them basically taking advantage of the people that refuse to learn about crypto, essentially. So I don't know where we're gonna go. This is a lot of speculation we're giving you guys, and the reason why it's speculation is just because no one knows what's gonna happen. We have to wait and see.
Hey, I mean, for all we know, they could have a great plan going on right now. We just don't know what we're talking about.
Right.
But honestly, but what's presented in front of us, this is what we came up with, guys.
This is
Like,
what we
this is
came
what
up with, and we are scared. I've been scared since the start of the year. I'm horrified to see the end of the year, just because it's like uncertainty. No one knows what's going to happen.
right.
They've been pushing back. So the debt ceiling, it got pushed back. It was raised. It was like we basically, the government said we were going to run out of money in like October 18th. Like literally articles are reading, we're going to run out of money October 18th. And then they passed something to push the deadline back to December. So now we got to worry about the debt ceiling in December. And where's that going to take us? We don't know. We are in November. So
Oh man.
we will face
Well,
that dragon when we see it.
well, let us know what you guys think. Are we crazy or do you agree with us? Please, like we love your feedback, guys. 100%.
Right. Please submit questions. We hope like these talks can open up your mind and help you like read things and make you ask questions, because we want to answer questions on the show. We didn't get any question submissions this week, so we're not going to do questions. But make sure you like, comment, subscribe, whatever you're listening on. Please like us on podcasts or Spotify, so you can get more interaction. Follow us on the Coinflip Pod on Instagram. I am now using it. I'm posting stories almost daily now to kind of give you guys relevant information, what's happening. So we'll catch you on the flip.